Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that be linked with a January transfer move to the Arsenal. Mikel Arteta speaking at his press conference yesterday ahead of the big game we got on Friday night against Manchester City in the FA Cup. And he confirmed that there's a problem at the moment with Mohamed Elneny. Elneny will not play in that game on Friday. As a matter of fact, they're a bit uncertain as to exactly how serious the injury is going to be. Through the grapevine, we're hearing that it's like quite a bad hamstring injury that could keep him out for quite a long time. And this is a bit like deja vu as we are in the transfer window right now, because if you remember rightly, towards the end of the transfer window last season, we had a similar problem. And it ended up with Arsenal making a late move for Douglas Luiz on transfer deadline day. And they didn't manage to get it over the line. And Douglas Luiz ended up staying at Villa. And a few months after that, signed himself a brand new contract with Villa. Arsenal back into the same position again. They now desperately want to get a midfielder in before the end of the transfer window. A midfielder that can play in that defensive midfield position, because it is looking like Elneny is going to be out for quite a while. I mean, I even heard a rumour yesterday saying could rule him out for the season. Listen, it's a rumour. I don't know exactly how long he's going to be out, but Elneny is going to be out. So what or who is that defensive midfielder going to be that Arsenal are going to try and make a move for? Could it be Moses Caicedo of Brighton? Now, we've discussed this one before here on the show. Brighton are saying they are not willing to let him go this transfer window. They do not want to sell him. And the rumours are, if they did, they want about 70 to 75 million pounds. When you consider they paid under 5 million for him, I mean, that represents a humongous profit. And, you know, as I keep saying on this show, Brighton, they got it down to the T when it comes to buying and selling players. I mean, I think teams like Everton need to take a leaf out of their book. But they're saying they don't want to sell him. Or is that true? Because I was reading today that Brighton have put in, they're showing a big interest at the moment and have made an inquiry about buying Amadou Haidara from RB Leipzig. And he is a similar sort of position as Caicedo. He plays like a midfield, defensive midfield type position. And they're looking to bring him in, right? Now, why would they be looking to bring him in if they didn't think that Caicedo could be moving? Could Arsenal make a move for this player? We know that Arsenal are big admirers of him. We know he's a very, very talented player, the Ecuador player. However, Chelsea also interested in him. And we know that they've been splashing the cash this transfer window with Todd Bowley. Probably bid 900 million if they needed to. But jokes aside, Moses Caicedo could be a player that Arsenal move him for before the end of the transfer window. Fabrizio Romano also saying one to watch this one before the window closes, with Arsenal being informed by his new agents that there is a possibility. Is that worth it? 75 million pounds for Moses Caicedo. It seems like a lot of money, but if he's an exceptional talent, which he seems to be, would it be worth it? Let's wait and see how that one pans out in this January transfer window. What about Amadou Onana of Everton? He is another player that has been suggested. Again, would cost a whopping 50 million pounds. And when you consider, as I said, that Everton only paid 30 million for him, just a few months, when you look at it, 6 months ago in the summer, is it worth this sort of money? But listen, it's what we need right now. We need somebody in that position. Onana reportedly has told people that he wants to stay at Everton till at least the summer. He wants to, show a bit of loyalty there for the team that's brought him in. But money talks, and you never know what can happen before the end of the January transfer window. So Onana, another target. We've spoken about Martin Zubimendi on the show as well, and I've multiple times told you about how Arsenal were looking to trigger his release clause of £53 million, which shows you that Arsenal do have the money on the table to do these kind of deals. But as I've said before, he wants to stay at Real Sociedad and doesn't really want to move until the summer either, a bit like Onana. But again, money talks. Let's see what happens with that one. This is another player that's come onto the radar today, and his name is Ibrahima Bamba, who plays for Vitória Guimarães in Portugal. He's Italian, defensive midfielder, 20 years of age. Now, he's got a £27 million, £27 million. We also wish it was £27. A £27 million release clause in his contract. It's a player that, a lot of scouts have been looking at around Europe. Raw talent, but can play in that defensive midfield position. As I said, lots of teams looking at him. His agent was spotted in London yesterday, so that's heightened interest. What is he doing? Listen, he could be out here shopping. Who knows, right? But his agent was spotted in London, and rumours are flying around today about Ibrahima Bamba, but 20 years of age. I mean, is that the player that Arsenal want to bring in right now? A very inexperienced player? I mean, listen, I guess it would be backup to Thomas Partey, so he would be used sparingly, I guess. I'm just thinking, would Arsenal not want a more sort of experienced player in that position? Who knows? But that's another one that has been touted today. Now, with all this going on, how does Sambi Lokonga feel? Because he's the guy, really, when you think about it, who should be just slotting into that position. Sambi Lokonga, we've seen in a lot of Europa League games, FA Cup games. We saw him the other day against Oxford. Has not really impressed at Arsenal so far. Let's be real. He's come in with quite a big reputation, and he's still not looked the real deal at the moment. There's been a lot of suggestions from fans saying that he could benefit from a loan deal. Let him go out, play a lot of football, and then come back to Arsenal a better player, a la William Saliba. Now, yesterday we were told that Monaco from France, they wanted to take him on a loan deal from now till the end of the season, but that was rejected by Arsenal. Arsenal don't want to send him out on loan, and I think the obvious reasons why that's been rejected is because, they're short in midfield now that Mohamed Elneny is injured, so there's no way they're going to send him out on loan right now. Now, does that suggest that Arsenal are going to keep Sambi Lokonga regardless? Because as I said, right at the top of the show, Mikel Arteta is saying that they need a midfielder, and it's obviously to cover in that area. The suggestion, I don't know, this is just my suggestion. I feel that if Arsenal do get a defensive midfielder in before the end of the transfer window, which of course closes on Tuesday, the 31st of January, maybe they may let Sambi Lokonga leave on loan to go out and play football from now until the end of the season. But let's wait and see how that happens. But certainly the loan move by Monaco rejected yesterday by Arsenal. They don't want to send Sambi Lokonga out on loan while they're short in the midfield area. And this one I spoke about yesterday, Federico Chiesa, the super talented Juventus player who's suffered a lot of injuries in recent times, but is back playing for Juventus, that he could be available. Now, they're saying today he could be available for as little as £17.6 million. More of a summer move, not a January move, but more of a summer move. I do think there could be some sort of fire sale at Juventus come the summer because they've got this 15-point deduction. There could be even further sanctions coming the way of Juventus because of tax irregularities and transfer irregularities that they've been punished for. So it's going to be one interesting one to keep our eye on. Arteta said to be a big admirer of Chiesa. I am as well. He's a fantastic player. But as I said, he's been very injury prone over the last couple of seasons. And finally, again, I want to put forward a suggestion again. I suggested this about a week ago. I've suggested this again to Arsenal, right? Frank Kessie, right? I still think he's gettable, even though Xavi has come out and said, listen, I don't want Frank Kessie to leave. He's part of my plans. He's been used very sparingly for Barcelona, right? Remember with Aubameyang, Xavi said the same thing. I don't want Aubameyang to go nowhere. Aubameyang's part of my plans. He's important. And then the next minute, they sold Aubameyang. If there is an inkling that, say, Frank Kessie is available, for me, it's a no-brainer to go and get him like on a loan deal from now until the end of the season, and that could solve our midfield problem. But listen, that's just a suggestion that I'm putting forward. That's one of my scouting picks as of a player that possibly could be available this January. It's always difficult in January. To get players away from clubs in January is really, really tough. But we're going to need something. And as I said, it's a bit like deja vu, going back to the summer transfer window where we needed that defensive midfielder. We didn't get it on that occasion. Can we get it done this time? Let's wait and see. Listen, thanks for watching the show today. I'll see you all tomorrow. Not long to go now until the transfer window closes, but we'll keep you up to date with all of the news here on AFTV. Also, check out all of our preview stuff ahead of the big game when we take on Manchester City in the FA Cup on Friday night. Previews, supporters clubs, box to box. Check them all out here on the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.